Hey, it's James from the Amazing Picks. I've tested a bunch of torches out in real conditions, burning weeds, thawing ice, lighting fires, and I've narrowed it down to the 5 best weed torches that actually get the job done. Whether you need serious heat or precise control, these picks deliver where it counts. At number 5, Sondico Propane Torch. Best for power on a budget? I picked up the Sondico 1.2 million BTU torch when I needed raw power for melting ice on an old stone patio during a freezing February cold snap. What caught me off guard was how quickly it actually worked. In under a minute, the ice was bubbling and pulling away from the surface way faster than chemical ice melt ever managed. And what makes this torch stand out isn't just the BTUs, but how that heat is delivered, and the flame comes out wider and heavier than expected. That density makes it effective for burning out deep-rooted weeds in gravel driveways or drying wet patches before sealing cracks. Compared to others, the control dial here is pretty smooth. You can throttle it way down for small jobs or open at full throttle and it turns into what's basically a legal flamethrower. Safety-wise, I always test new torches with a leak check. This one passed right away, no loose fittings or hissing valves, and that internal safety flow restrictor actually gave me peace of mind once I saw it perform under pressure. It's clearly built to be abused a little. That said, it's not the most maneuverable or comfortable if you're using it for long sessions. It's all about raw, no-frills power. But if you want something tough and simple to knock out weed patches, burn stumps, or even light a fire pit in bad weather, this is one I keep in the truck year-round. At number 4, Flame King Propane Torch Kit. Best for larger yards and job sites. I first used the Flame King torch when I had to torch out 2 overgrown property edges covered in dry thatch and thorny weeds. What I immediately loved was the built-in piezo ignition. Just press and go, no lighter, no fuss. Especially with gloves on, that's a game changer. The 6-foot hose honestly made more difference than I expected. I could set the propane tank down in the center of the yard and work all the edges without dragging it every 5 minutes. That extra mobility saved a lot of time and frustration. The flame is long and forceful, which made it excellent for pushing back against wind on open ground. I've also used it to melt snow along the sidewalk after a storm. It pushes enough heat to get through slushy buildup without constantly standing over it. The ergonomic grip and safety lever are a big plus. I used it for close to an hour, and it didn't cramp my hand like cheaper torches often do. Between this and the Sondico, the Flame King trades a bit of raw BTU output for comfort, safety, and control. If I had to clear a 1/4 acre of weeds, this is what I'd bring. It's the one I'd recommend for serious yard work or anyone who values mobility, thanks to the hose and regulator setup. At number 3, BISupply Handheld Propane Torch. Best for precision spot control. This was the first torch I bought for flame weeding, and I still use it when I need to get into tight spaces. I live in a house with stone borders, flower beds, and brick walkways, and the BISupply torch is perfect for all the places where I don't want a huge, uncontrollable flame. It attaches to a small camping-style propane canister, which makes it incredibly easy to store and grab for quick jobs. I've used it on patio joints between paving stones and under fences, and it has just enough flame power to roast the weeds without damaging anything nearby. Where it really shines is weight and maneuverability. It's so light I don't even think about hand fatigue. And it's short enough to stay precise, but long enough that I don't have to bend over awkwardly. I also found it super handy for lighting charcoal. It gets coals going in under a minute without leaving any chemical taste behind. One note, it doesn't have automatic ignition. You'll need a lighter, but once it's going, the flame holds steady and doesn't flicker unless you're working in strong wind. I always tell people, this isn't a driveway clearing torch, it's a fine-tuning tool. For small yards, balconies, or gardens with ornamentals and tight spacing, this is the one I use when I need control over brute force. At number 2, Blazer Big Shot. Best for clean precision and lab quality control. And I bought the Blazer GT 8000 originally for soldering and melting adhesives in small electronics repairs, but now I use it for everything from dab rigs and searing steaks to DIY crafts. It's one of the most stable, precision-focused torches I've tested, and the flame is beautifully sharp and consistent. What really earns my trust is the brass anti-flare nozzle. I've used it in every position, upside down, sideways, tilted awkwardly while working under a shelf, and the flame never sputtered. That alone makes it worth the price, especially for detailed work. The piezoelectric ignition has never failed me, not once. It lights up immediately with a click, and the adjustable gas dial gives you pinpoint control over the flame size and heat output. I even use it to finish off sous vide steaks because it gives me a clean, high-temperature flame without the smoke or flare-ups that other torches produce. Compared to the Zoocura, this one feels more refined. Zoocura gives you more flame and more time per fill, but the Blazer gives you precision and reliability under pressure. It's what I use when I can't afford to screw up a detail, whether that's soldering a component or applying heat shrink tubing. If you need a professional butane torch for dabbing, crafting, or repair work, this is still the benchmark tool in my opinion. At number 1, Zoocura Big Double Flame Butane Torch. Best everyday multi-use torch for the price. I honestly didn't expect much from the Zoocura torch when I ordered it. It looked like another generic kitchen torch. But after a few weeks of using it for everything from small plumbing repairs to baking to fire starting, it's become my most used tool in the house. What surprised me first was the double flame design. You get way more heat spread than single flame torches, and the flame length can be pushed to about 6 inches, which makes it way more versatile. I've used it to melt solder on thick wire, soften adhesives, and even burn in decorative wood grain patterns. It gets hot fast and stays hot for much longer than I expected. The metal body feels solid, not like cheap plastic you see in a lot of kitchen torches. It has a removable base that makes tabletop use steady, and the fuel capacity is genuinely impressive. I went a full month of regular use before needing to refill it, which for a torch in this price range is unusual. It does have a child safety lock that I found a bit stiff at first, but once you get used to it, it's a good safety feature. I keep it in my kitchen drawer and toolbox, and it's replaced 2 of my older single-flame torches because of how balanced it is between power, safety, and cost. If you want a budget-friendly butane torch for multi-purpose use, from DIY to light repair to searing, it's hard to beat the value Zoocura offers. It's not a lab tool like the Blazer, but for 90% of everyday torching, it's the one I keep coming back to. So that's my breakdown of the best weed torches I've personally tested, from heavy-duty flamethrowers to precise butane torches. Each one has its own edge depending on what you're dealing with: large-scale yard work, delicate garden borders, or even detailed indoor repairs. I didn't just read specs, I used these torches in real conditions for real jobs, and these are the ones that earned a spot in my toolkit. Whether you need pure power, fine control, or something in between, I hope these unique hands-on insights help you pick the right tool for the job. Let me know in the comments what kind of torch work you're doing, or if there's one you've had a great experience with that should have made the list.